iCarly, like, I know, you see,
You
somehow
see,
things will
somehow
favor me and be
or
so
the Hannah Montana.
wonderful.
Oh, well.
Well, so we're here and we are.
Actually, this isn't even crack. This is canon.
Anytime it's like the first tag is Hermione Draco and then like the third tag is Draco somebody else, and I'm like,
Excuse me?
hold on.
Excuse me?
Rewind, please. I don't know how
Hello,
to
sweet
film.
listeners.
I don't know
Mm-mm,
how to
not a bit.
say welcome. Welcome.
No. Welcome.
Welcome to Hermione Would Approve. For the first time.
You're here. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so happy everybody's here. We're just here to have a good time.
Try not to annoy anybody
Yeah.
with my accent.
We're doing what we can.
Literally.
Yeah, so we're just two little girls, two little gals hanging out, talking about Hermione and fandom and all the things.
All the things. We are bringing that girlhood back. That girlhood back. I feel like I'm like healing my inner child a little bit doing this.
Oh, I
Like
agree.
if
Like
little Madeline would know that there were other people like her, she wouldn't have
yeah,
believed you. You know what I
embracing
mean?
the things that I loved as a kid and into my teens and not being ashamed of them and then building this community has been so healing to the parts of me that thought that it was like embarrassing to be in fandom. It was never embarrassing. I was just 12 and embarrassed, like it was never
Yes.
embarrassing.
Yes. Or it's like they don't feel this way about these characters, about these shows and these movies and books. Like no one else feels this way but me. But like you just feel so alone and you don't even know you're alone. Anyway,
Because none of us
so I'm
wanted
just
to
so
talk
happy to
about
be
it.
here. No,
And now it's all I want to talk about.
exactly.
Anyway, so that's kind of like why we started this, right? So we wanted to
Right.
build this community and have a safe place to talk about not just Hermione, but fandom in general and the pop culture things that we like and the other fandoms that we're a part of. And we will be mostly centered around Hermione and Hermione specifically, but it's just a place for us to yap. We're trying to make it feel like you are just on a FaceTime call with your besties, yapping each other's ear off.
Yes. Millie, you need to tell them how it's a required reading for this class. You have to have a bevy. You have to have a bevy.
You have to have a bevy. You have to have a bevy. So here's my bevy for the day. It is matcha.
Let me see.
It's matcha. Except I
Oh,
brought
it's
it home.
cherries.
It is cherries. I brought it home and I put it in a cute cup so that I would have it for the podcast. But a little
Whimsical.
sippy
So
sippy.
whimsical. So whimsical.
10 out of 10.
Okay. I don't know if y'all have these in Texas. I kind of just discovered them. But they're like loaded teas where it's like collagen, caffeine. Like it
Interesting.
has like only like 100 and something milligrams of caffeine and then different like flavors and they're iced and they're delicious and they kind of taste like super sour, super sweet, but they're like an energy drink kind of thing. We got some for teacher appreciation week and I'm still sipping on it. It was delicious.
What flavor is it?
It's like raspberry, watermelon,
It's
and,
red.
like, I think pomegranate?
It's red.
It's red, but it's okay. And then I have a little koozie.
Gotta keep it cold. I know, mine is like sweating all over the table and I've just accepted my fate because I couldn't sacrifice the appearance.
No, that's so valid.
All right, well, do you want to tell our friends here a little bit about you and how you came to be here?
Oh, my word, y'all. Okay. Let me tell you about little Madeline. She like, my punishment growing up was getting my books taken away. That was my punishment. Y'all remember AR test? Top of the class every year.
Time we went to that pizza party.
I went to that pizza party. I got trophies. Like, let me tell you, I love to read. We got done with like standardized testing, and they're like, if you're done, you can read. I was like, let me just be done with this standardized test. That's probably really important, so I can finish up where I was
Finish
in
as fast
Twilight.
as we can
Like,
so that I can catch up on my reading.
Literally could not get any more cares in the world. But like I've always loved it. And I remember when I was like 7, I started reading like I was like old enough, I think, to like read like at least the first 2 Harry Potters. But I was also already reading like the American Girl doll books, like Ginny B. Jones, Magic, all that. So loved them. Got into Harry Potter, and I was like, my word, this bitch, Hermione Granger, is me. That's who I
Yeah.
want. And like when I started it, she's like 11 and I was, or 12, and I'm like younger. So, like, in a way, Hermione's always been like big sister goals type of thing.
Hmm.
And then obviously, like, my family went to like the movies and the books, like midnight premieres, loved it so much. And then same thing with like Twilight, same thing with like Pirates of the Caribbean, all that kind of stuff. I love it. I love it. Literally. And then I remember in like 2012, I started getting like social media and I got like Tumblr, got Twitter, and I learned about all these different ships. And I was like, oh my gosh, someone is seeing what I'm seeing about One Direction,
Yeah.
the same thing as like, oh my gosh. I was like, forget these girls they're with. I want them to all be with each other.
Yeah. Immediately.
You know what I mean?
Computer, make these guys super
Immediately.
gay and horny.
Exactly. Like I was
Hmm.
making it in my brain. I
Yeah.
went into like my mind palace. So me and my sister would write like our own like little fan fiction about like what cabin we were in, cabin 10 by the way, and our little adventures with Annabeth, like little things like that. Anyway, so I very much like if there was a fandom, I was in it.
No, me
There
too.
was,
Me too.
and then
Anything,
it was
if I
so
liked something even
surprising.
a minuscule amount, I was like, I need to
Yes.
immediately understand everything about these characters
Yes.
instantly.
Like I am on that Wikipedia. I am on IMDb. I am on
I
it's like
stayed on
the
the
thing
Harry
about
Potter wiki.
yes! Oh my gosh. But you get it, girl. Like, if there was a fandom, I was in it. Mostly like a Wattpad and Tumblr girly, like a little bit here and there, maybe like on Twitter or something.
It's just,
Stuff I want
especially
on
because
there.
we started so much in One Direction. I feel like One Direction really
Yes.
was the height of Wattpad, right? Like everything was on Wattpad.
Yes.
And I
Oh my god.
have a very similar story. I'll run through it really quick. Started with Hermione,
Tell
started
me.
with Harry Potter, all the things, became very
It all goes
obsessed.
back to Hermione.
It all comes back to Hermione. My older brother is 7 years older than me. So from very, very early age, I was also obsessed because I wanted to do everything that he was doing. So naturally, that became my
That's
hyperfixation very quickly.
precious.
Oh, it was cute. He hated it. So probably the first like full series book that I read was Harry Potter, and I was probably like 6 or 7. Like I was not quite old enough to be reading them at that age, but I started it
Right? Oh
anyway
my
because I wasn't. Whatever. We went to all the movie premieres, whatever. The first movie I ever saw in theaters was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone because it came out in 2001. So I was like not even 1 year old yet. And
She was like a fetus.
I was like literally little. I was almost a year old probably because I think those movies come out like in the fall. But anyway, I was not even 1 year old. And my mom was really upset because she had to miss like most of the movie because I wouldn't stop crying. But we went because my brother wanted to go. So like that's my claim to fame. I've
Girl.
been here since day one. I was an infant at the Harry Potter movie. Like I've been here. So then I obviously like fell in love with it, got super obsessed with it. They were my comfort movies forever. Went to all the midnight premieres once I was old enough, that kind of thing. And then in like 2009, 2010, when I discovered Jonas Brothers fan fiction for the first time, and I was, listen to me,
Iconic.
listen to me. I was reading Jonas
Send
Brothers.
it on.
I was reading
No.
Jonas Brothers fan fiction in the descriptions of YouTube videos. I don't know if anybody else has, I don't know if this is shared experience. That's how I discovered fan fiction.
Iconic.
People would post YouTube videos that were like either edits of the Jonas Brothers or
Gap.
lyric videos or whatever it was.
Mhm.
And it would be Jonas Brothers fan fiction in the description. And I'm talking like, I was mostly reading like Joe Jonas, Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, lots of
Quirk.
Selena Gomez fanfiction in the description of YouTube
Iconic.
videos. I don't really remember how I got from there, but I went from there to Quotev, which at the time was Quizazz, and then I stumbled upon the Harry Potter fanfiction and my life changed forever. There is, in the depths of
Bruh.
that website, and maybe someday I'll share with the class, fanfiction that I wrote at 10 years old.
Precious.
It's joint fanfiction that I wrote, and if I ever, like, share this with the class, maybe I'll share the username of the person that I wrote it with and see if like they find me somehow. We wrote this fanfiction together. There's like 7 or 8 different fanfics that we wrote together. Most of it is
7 or 8?
We wrote a lot. It was a lot. It's not good, but we wrote it.
Was she a child too?
Yes. Yeah, we were both children. It's so bad, but it's really sweet to like look back. Actually, the writing itself is not that bad, like grammar wise. It's just like it's clearly written by a child. You know what I mean? Like it's honestly surprisingly good for 10 years old, but like whatever. Anyway, So it was mostly Draco Malfoy with like an OC or George Weasley with an OC.
Very specific, not Fred.
Crazy. Anyway, not Fred. Fred was always there, but he was not important. It was George
No.
or it was Draco, and that was it. Those are your options. So I've been clearly in love with Draco Malfoy for a very long time. Probably my very first crush ever was Tom Felton as Draco Malfoy. Like, I love that man. Super cute. And then, because I was on Quotev, once I discovered One Direction, life changed immediately because when From Quotev ended up on Wattpad and then ended up on Twitter, where I became temporarily Twitter famous for a One Direction stan account where I had one too? I had 4 out of 5 following me. I got a happy birthday from Liam and Niall multiple years in a row. And then when Zayn left the band, I rage deleted my account.
Stop it.
So it's gone forever.
Stop it.
Yeah, love that for me. But
I probably liked your stuff.
That is like my obsession with One Direction fan culture is really what made me get like even more into Harry Potter, because before that it was just something that was for me. Like, I didn't talk about that with other people. That wasn't like a love of something that I shared with other people. And my love for One Direction taught me that there are communities out there and there are girlies who want to yap. Like, the girlies want to yap.
Yes.
And so then I like took my silly little Harry Potter fan fiction phase and expanded it and like made online friends and whatever. And so that's how we got here. And then I got back into it like heavily in 2020 with DracoTok. DracoTok like launched everything again for me.
Retweet that. Wow. I'm so grateful for DracoTok. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you to everybody who participated in DracoTok, because 1, you got me through a pandemic, and 2, you made me best friends.
Yes. And like Loki got me back into reading too. Like in general.
Yeah. What was the first Hermione fanfic that you read?
Oh my gosh, it was Manicooled. One of these days I'll probably like DM the girlies on TikTok because I still follow them, like who wrecked them.
Yeah.
But it was like this girlie was talking about like isolation and Manicooled being like the best fantasy love story she'd ever read. And I was like, oh, what are they? I want to read them. And then they were talking about how like it's actually a fan fiction. I was like, wait, people still do that? I'm so intrigued. Like, you know, like no judgment, just intrigued. Let me hop back in. And it had finished up and I like jumped in, immediately read it. I devoured it in probably like 3 days.
Yeah, me too.
Like, eat, sleep, breathe. And from then I was like, give me more.
Yeah.
And I went down a whole like post-war Voldemort wins type of alternative universe kind of thing. Like, because then I went into like the auction, then I went into isolation, and then I went into like Breathman's Battle Scars, Remain Nameless, things got happier, you know? But like, I'm just so grateful for those authors for still having that, like, they still had their fandom era. And then I kind of became like a Sinlin Yu stan too. And I love her so much, so grateful. And then it was always so weird. Like when you were little, were you known like always has her head in a book, you know?
Like for so long my favorite Disney princess was Belle, because that's literally how everybody talked about me.
Girl, you get it. The girls who get it, get it. Thank you, Belle. Thank you, Hermione. You made it cool to be a brunette who reads. Literally, I was like since like COVID, it's like, oh, what are you reading? Or what are you doing on your phone? I'm like, I'm reading. Like, you know what I mean? Like
always.
It's all come back full circle. I'm like, I feel like I'm in high school.
Me and my Kindle are inseparable.
It's so great.
We're a package deal.
Okay. Kindles, that's where it's at too. But what about you? What was your like first fix? Like your first couple and everything, that like 2020 era, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of people that joined like last month.
Yeah. So,
and I'm like, how did you survive 2024 and you didn't know who had the hybrid was?
Yeah,
you didn't know.
You didn't know? I'm so glad you're here. Let me change your life.
Yeah. Welcome.
So obviously I read like a lot of Hermione. Well, I didn't read a lot of I used to read a lot of Draco Malfoy fanfiction, like as a child. I didn't read a lot of Hermione fanfiction as a child. And then I stumbled upon Manacled. I genuinely do not remember how I got there. I think I know TikTok, but like couldn't tell you who it was, what the post said, how I got there, how I got it on my Kindle. It just all happened like to me. I just let it wash over. Read it in like a couple days, like sped read it. It was literally all I could do or think about.
Canon of it.
I don't think I slept. I think I just non-stopped it. I somewhere, and I'll have to find it, I still have the text messages that I sent to my best friend when it ended, and I was like, "Hey, I know you do not care about Harry Potter. I need you to read this. It's, like, genuinely one of the best, like, fiction things that I've ever read. Like, it's so good. It's so well written. You need to experience this." And I'll have to find what the message said. But yeah, so Manacled first. I went very similar to you. Went straight from Manacled into the auction in Fallout, and then I think I started to slow down into some like softer things. One thing about me is that if it's not like incredibly angsty, I get a little bored. Like I need
Mhm.
it to be like keeping me on the edge of my seat constantly. So like back to back to back
Yes.
to back. When I read Greenlight, I read Greenlight straight into Secrets and Masks, like just like a
My
psychopath. Like I
good
cannot help it.
girl.
But I
Girl.
feel the same way. Like I think without DracoTok and without obviously there's so many good fics out there. I do think that Manacled
Mhm.
getting as big as it did suddenly back then and blowing up in that way and now being trad pubbed into Alchemized, I feel like has brought so many people to fanfiction who didn't know either didn't know
Mhm.
that it existed or didn't read Harry Potter even until recently. And I really love how that has helped the fandom grow and really introduce all of these people into fandom that wouldn't have found their way here before.
Yes. Yes! Because it's not like it's so many people, like, and I've talked to others, like, they didn't know fan fiction was a thing
Mhm.
because they genuinely just thought, like, no one thinks the way I'm
Yeah.
thinking. And it's like, you are not alone.
We're all
Like,
in this together.
this together. Exactly.
All right. So
Exactly.
I thought that we could, before we get into the thick of things, and since this is like our first real episode, go through some vocab words, especially because I feel like when I joined the fandom, there were some things I knew from like reading fan fiction and my teen years, but there was a lot of stuff that I was completely new to me. And I've heard
Like,
this
grown
like
up fan
grown-up fan
fiction.
fiction. I was like, "Whoa, hold on, what is this?" But I
We're
feel like there's a
elevated.
lot of people joining the fandom now who may not know these things, and even people who are in the fandom who just have never bothered to look up what some of these words mean because I also
Right.
just went with it. I was like, "Sure, I know what that is. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yep.
It's like we're gonna be your big sisters and like the fan fiction newbies, like
We're
we're
gonna
here
hold
for
your
you,
hand.
babes. We're
We're
here
gonna
for
hold your
you.
hand, and you're gonna have the
Because
best time."
you don't need to be confused
Yeah.
alone. Let us
Let
help.
us help. And here's the thing, like, if the way that we describe these is wrong, I didn't look any of these up. I'm going completely off what's up here. So you guys hold our hands and tell us if we are wrong
Yes.
because
Yes.
I'm hoping for the best. But
Because you're
we have a
only
we have a
human.
little list here. So I
Yes.
think we can take turns going through and describing them and letting the listeners in on our little secret language here. So the first one that we have on our list, Maddie, if you want to describe, is
Yes.
alpha reader. What is an alpha reader?
Okay, so an alpha reader is the person who's going to be reading the fic to kind of guide like plot lines and help look out for plot holes and like help you with like storylines or character developments, they're going to be like, I feel like most alphas are there each chapter, like they're there for almost like if not the entire fic. And then I know like some fics have multiple alphas,
Mhm.
so, like, an author will, send out a chapter and the alphas will go through and be like, "Oh, wait, this was a grammatical error. Oh, this was a plot hole
Yeah,
error from the part 1," that kind of thing.
right.
What is angst to
What
you?
is angst to
Tell me.
me? Angst to me is everything because that's all I like to read. Angst is the
Retweet.
nitty-gritty, the emotional warfare that you will go through while reading a fic. It can be anything. It is any time that a character in a fic is going through it and just having a rough time,
Mhm.
that is angst. It could be literally anything depending on the plot,
Mm.
but just any time that they are down bad is what I would describe as angst.
Exactly. Exactly. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not
Down
wrong.
bad crying at the gym. That is angst. All right. What is AO3?
Okay, that is the little nickname for the website Archive of Our Own. And currently for me, it is my number one source of fan
Mm-hmm.
fiction. Like, I might have, like, an EPUB here and there floating around. Oh, but it's the website Archive of Our Own, and it has no ads. You can create an account, or once you're invited, request, and that'll come in. But the thing about Archive of Our Own, it's run by the volunteers and all nonprofit, so that's why there's no ads. In my opinion, it's very user friendly. I love AO3. She is the best. Because I feel like no one says Archive of Our Own necessarily. We all
No,
just say
everybody
like
just says
the
AO3. Yeah.
AO3. Yeah, you know? Okay, what is AU? What does AU stand for?
AU stands for alternate universe. So again, I keep getting the really
Mm,
vague ones.
mm,
Alternate universe can be like
my fave.
genuinely anything. This could be
Yes.
wartime. This could be like specifically like within Hermione, this could be a Muggle AU where they never had magic. It could be genuinely anything.
Mhm.
Anything that is not based around the main plot of Harry Potter or whatever it is that you're reading about could be considered an AU. And the
Yes.
authors will get so creative with this. I have read so many crazy AUs where they are just like, you know what I haven't read and I bet exists, and if you've heard of one, or if the crowd has heard of one, send it my way. I want somebody to take the concept of multiverse, like from Marvel, and apply it to Harry Potter and give it to me now.
Give it to me now.
Give
Give
it
it to
to
me,
me
please.
now. Send it to me,
Oh my
Rachel.
god, let me tell you, there's an AO or there's an AU that is on my TBR when school gets out, and it is like so I'm also a big Zutara girly, right? And
You're about
it's
to say
Zuko and
Zootopia.
that too.
I was
Judy
like,
Hopps,
period,
my
queen.
girl.
Yeah.
That's my girl. But, like, it's Zuko and Katara and, like, the gang at Hogwarts, and there's, like, a Hermione, like, side pair, and there's a couple out there, and there's one specifically that I'm like, "She looks at him and he looks at her,"
Yeah.
that's me in this whip right now. Anyway,
All right. So, what is a beta reader? And you described alpha reader, so this will be good to do the compare and
let me do
contrast.
yeah. Okay. So, a beta is someone who you would give, like, the chapter or bounce the ideas off of about, like, that specific aspect of the fic.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, Lady of the Quill, I was her beta for because I'm a special education teacher. She wrote, like, a Hermione where Scorpius was going through a special education
Mm.
diagnosis, and she's like, "Be my beta and just make sure things are, like, flowing," you
Yeah.
know? And I think that really cool thing about beta and the difference kind of between alpha and betas, I feel like sometimes betas aren't the entire fic, they
Yeah.
might just be,
Like a
like,
section of it.
certain
Yeah.
chapters or sections, yeah.
And I
Does that
think
make sense?
the other thing about betas too is it can be anything. So like she asked you to beta because you have this like niche knowledge of the thing she was writing about in that specific chapter or whatever. But they can also be for like grammatical purposes or like
Yeah,
just
good
anything.
point.
So like
Mhm.
you can pick a new beta every single chapter. The alpha kind of follows you through the fic and makes sure that everything throughout your fic flows together and stays together, and they're kind of there to bounce plot bunnies off of and that kind of thing. But a beta can be
Yes.
like you can have as many betas as you want per chapter
Mm,
basically, because they don't need the context of the full fic to help you with whatever section it is that you're working on.
yes, exactly. Okay. What is canon? Is it something you blow out,
No.
like,
No.
at the circus?
No.
Like, what's canon?
Canon is whatever is true to the way that whatever you're reading, the story was originally told. So if we're talking about Harry Potter or Hermione, if it is canon, it is things that happened in the books, the way that they were written, or the movies. And you'll see that sometimes too in the tags of things. You might see like book canon or movie canon or whatever.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
it just means that whatever happens in the plot of that follows what happened in canon. So if we're talking
Mhm.
about if it's a sixth year fic, then that means that everything that happens in the sixth book is assumed to be happening, even if you don't read every
Yes.
single thing of it. It's assumed to be happening in the fic that you're reading.
Yes,
Did I
exactly.
do a good job? Was that good?
Exactly. Yes, that was very good.
Is canon divergent? Ayo.
Okay, so that is when something is different than what happened in canon. Like in the world of Harry Potter, my favorite canon divergent AUs is when like Remus or Sirius live. I love it. I love it. I love it.
That's
And I think
canon
about
to
like
me.
probably
That's
That is canon. What are you talking about? The
Nothing
Dead
bad
of
ever happened
Time.
to
Dead
them.
of Time. Shaylani, if you're listening, Shaylani, I'm naming my firstborn after you. Anyway, but that's probably my favorite, like, canon divergent AU,
Mhm.
is when characters who, like, died in canon come back.
I agree.
And it's very, like, easy to explain because I feel like lots of times these characters didn't need to
They didn't
die
need to
in the
die.
first place. Excuse me. Anyway. Okay, what is crack? Tell me what crack is.
Tell you what crack is?
I feel like I see it worded too like a crack ship or a
Yeah.
crack fic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So crack is like the goal of making things intentionally ridiculous. So
Mhm.
like just putting two characters who genuinely would have no reason to be near each other together, or like just crazy things, and they're doing it on funny most of the time to be funny, right? Or to get a laugh. But
Yes.
also there's crack taken seriously, which is another tag you'll find, which is the same thing,
Oh
like
my
it's
gosh,
crazy
yes.
pairings or crazy plot, but they take it really serious. So like it's not meant to be a joke. It might be crazy, but it is meant to be taken seriously.
Literally. Oh my gosh, can I tell you one of my favorite crack fics?
Please.
Okay. So on my little like fic master list, it's under like multiple pairings, right? And it's called A Force of Nature. And it is Hermione because why not? She's the world's best partner,
Naturally.
so she can be with whoever we want.
Exactly.
It's Hermione with Tom Riddle,
This
Draco,
is the one you told me about.
Theo, and Severus. Okay. And it sounds like a crack ship. And I can't remember if it's tagged that way or not, but it's crazy and it's so good. And the way that they explain why she needs four husbands is like perfectly reasonable. And I was like, wait, this makes
You're like,
so much
actually, hold
sense.
on. All
And
of the dots are connecting right now.
actually, this isn't even crack. This is canon. Of course, Hermione is gonna be with Severus.
Naturally.
Like, duh.
Naturally. There's something for everybody around these parts. All right.
Literally.
So tell me, please, Madeline, what is DDNE?
Oh my gosh. Stands for Dead Dove Do Not Eat. In Arrested Development, homeboy is going to get his lunch from the break room fridge, and there's a paper bag in there, and on the paper bag it says "Dead dove do not eat." And he's like, "What the fuck?" And what does he do? He looks in the damn paper bag, and he's like, "I don't know why I expected anything else." Okay, when someone tags a fic, "Dead dove do not eat," that means you get what you get. That means there's not gonna be any surprises because all of, like, any possible, like, triggers or warnings are gonna be tagged
Mhm.
or in the summary. So it's just, like, the author trying to be like, "This is what you're getting into,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah." But I feel like my hot take with dead doves is that but people think because something's a dead dove is just because it's tagged that means it's not, like, gonna be a happy story,
Mhm.
or it's not gonna be, like, a happily ever after, like,
Yeah.
take Draco and Hermione, like, that they're gonna end up together, happily ever after. Well, that's not what a dead dove means. It just means, like, they're gonna go through some, like, crazy shit to get there.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, like, at its base, it genuinely, like, the actual, like, meaning of dead dog not do not eat just means that what is written in the tags is what's going to happen
Yep,
within the story. So you could put it on
yep,
technically anything and just say, like, hey, read the tags, this is what you get. But it doesn't mean that it has to be not happily ever after. It doesn't mean that something's going to have, like, whatever. It means that whatever is in the tags is what you're getting. And usually that
mm,
does mean you are getting something like character death or not happy ever after,
yes,
whatever. But it doesn't have to
yes,
mean that.
right, right. Oh my gosh, tell me about DNF.
DNF.
What is what is what is DNF?
DNF stands for did not finish, and you could DNF something for like literally any reason. I have so many things that I have accidentally DNF'd because I just get distracted and start reading something else.
ADHD.
But it's just a shortened version to say, like, I didn't finish this fic.
Right, right, right. It just, right person, wrong time, you
Yeah.
know?
And what is an EPUB?
Yeah. Okay, I don't know what EPUB is supposed to, like
We don't need to know
I
what
think
it
it's, like, what,
stands for.
electronic publish? Exactly. But I know it's a way that you can download a fic, kind of like how you would download a PDF kinda thing, and it's a way to save the file, so it saves, like, the tags, it saves the author notes, it saves all those kind of things, and I feel like a lot of people use EPUB so they can read on their Kindles or read on the Kindle app
Yeah.
or, like, Apple Books and that kinda thing.
And
Do you like
I
EPUBs?
do. I almost exclusively read in EPUBs because if I read on AO3, I lose my place. So I like
Mhm.
downloading it, and I'll download it to the Books app on my phone and to my Kindle, and then whichever one I feel like reading on. Because it saves my place versus if I am on AO3 and I close my tab or something, I have no idea where I was.
Why are you closing your no, I'm just kidding.
I do it
Okay,
on accident.
my thing is I read if it's my first time reading a fic, I always read on AO3. So that way I can see if there's like artwork work embedded or like
Usually
author
it
notes or
downloads for
something
me.
like that. Okay, it doesn't I'm probably doing it wrong. But if once I do a reread,
Yep,
I'll always do the EPUB,
that makes sense. And sometimes I
because you
will,
can't give like kudos and comment from an EPUB. You have to go into,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, AO3. So that's
If
why it's
I
like the
read
first
a
time I
whip,
usually
I'll
do.
always read whips on AO3. But
That makes
that's
sense
because I'm
too.
usually only reading one chapter at a time, so like there's not a lot of time for me to lose my place.
Tell me, what is EWE, my
Yeah,
dear?
so EWE is something I've only actually seen in the Harry Potter fan fiction. I'm sure that it exists.
Yeah.
I'm sure it exists other places, but it's just a lot more prevalent within Harry Potter because there is an epilogue. So EWE stands for Epilogue What Epilogue, and it just means that they are canon divergent. They said, screw the epilogue, we're doing whatever we want. And most
Mhm.
Hermione fan fiction is epilogue what epilogue because we
Yeah.
can't have him moving on with the story, and whatever.
Bruh.
We
If
have
it's not
if you
EWE, it's gonna make me
if
cry.
we follow EWE, then we have to get rid of Astoria somehow.
Yes. But basically, if there's not EWE tag or something like that, I know I'm gonna cry because homegirl's gonna be like 38 and in the middle of a divorce or something really sad's
What was
happening,
it
and
that
I'm
I
like,
read
"Damn,
recently? I can't even remember. Anyway.
tell me, what is fandom
Right. So
to
fandom is a
you?"
big word because this is across every fan space, but it is literally
True.
just the community of fans for something. So if that's Marvel, then it's the
I love
Marvel
that.
fandom, or it's Harry Potter, it's the Harry Potter fandom, or the Hermione fandom, or the One Direction fandom. So this word really spans across
Mhm.
anything you could possibly be a fan of. I guarantee you,
Mhm.
if whatever you are a fan of, unless it's something you made and never told anybody about, you can Google that word and then fandom and it'll come up with somebody talking about it. So it's a very generic word to just describe the community of fans for something.
Fair enough, fair enough.
What is fan fiction?
Okay, fan fiction is a fan-made work, written word that talks about, whatever they wanna talk about within a piece of work. Like, it's usually fan fiction is coming from someone whose POV was never talked about, someone's internal
Hmm.
dialogue that was never addressed, someone's, that kind of thing. So that's why, like in Hermione, I love a Hermione perspective because no offense, but like I'm pretty sure after like the second book, like Chamber of Secrets, I was reading Harry Potter because I was obsessed with
Yeah.
Hermione. Like, Harry, I love you, my dude. I love you, my sweet boy, my sweet summer child. But, like, I was trying to read about the Virgo Queen,
Hmm.
and you were the closest I could get to her. You know what I mean? Or I think about, like, when someone says, like, fan fiction, they can also mean, like, fanfic or FF.
Hmm.
It all kinda means, like, the same thing, you
Yeah.
know? And another thing about fan fiction, sometimes it is the canon characters just expounded
Yeah.
upon. Like I've read like some like fun, like Teen Wolf fan fiction that was like even more what was going on between season 1 or 2 and during the time jumps, things like that. So does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
Like it could be a canon characters or canon ships, but it could also be like non-canon, you
Mm.
never know. Tell me about fanon. What is
All
fanon?
right. So fanon is the opposite of canon. Fanon is the things that we have decided on as fans that are canon to us, right? So things like, I should have thought of examples before we did this.
I was gonna say, yeah, tell me, Hermione and Draco fanon. I got one. Wait, sorry,
No, go
interrupting.
ahead.
Draco has a sweet tooth.
Yeah, okay, that's a really good one. So in like most
I don't know
fics,
if that's
it's
fanon.
pretty fanon. Yeah,
Yes,
I think in almost every fic, Draco has a sweet tooth. Like that's pretty fanon. And that doesn't mean that like
yes,
every fan fiction has that or says that or even agrees with that, but it just means that it's like widely believed amongst
yes.
fans that that is canon to us, right? So it's not something that was ever written into Harry Potter, but it's something that we all believe. So another one that I just thought of is just like Draco's obsession with Hermione's hair is like a very big one for me personally. Like
Iconic.
in
I
nearly
bet.
every
I
fic I've
bet.
ever read, that man is obsessed with her curly hair, and I get it. Get
I
it.
feel like I feel like I'm giving a movie Prisoner of
You kind of are,
Azkaban,
yeah.
like,
I
because
see it.
I had a braid today and I took the braid out, so I feel like I'm giving
I
that.
also had my hair in a braid today, and then I curled it before I got in here because it didn't look like that. It looked much worse when I took mine down.
Literally.
All right.
Okay, okay. I know a fan-in for Hermione that I think is really cute. Okay, where Hermione is like a classic lit girly, like in like Wait and Hope, she loves Count of Monte Cristo, how like in every fic ever, she loves Jane
Mhm.
Austen. Like I think that's a cute
And on
one.
top
Like
of that,
Harry Potter
in
doesn't
in
know, but
fanon, I
we
feel
know.
like we also get a lot of Dracos that have also read classic lit, and that's like really special for me.
I need more of
It's
that. I
really
need
good.
more
It's
of
in a
that.
lot
I
of
think
fics
you're
that I've
right.
read. It's very good. All right.
It's so
What is
cute.
fluff?
Okay, fluff is when everything is rainbows and butterflies, happy-go-lucky, there's no drama. Like, usually everyone's, like, living their best life. There is absolutely, like, no angst, no drama, no
I'm so
stress.
glad that you got to
Like
describe this
like a
one.
honeymoon period. Me too, me too. Like, but here's my thing, though. I'm kind of, like, to a point, I totally agree with you and am like you. Like, I love fluff, but I don't think I have ever sought out, like, a purely fluff piece. Does that make sense?
The fluff that I read is usually one shots, and I use them as palette cleansers when I've just gone too far. Like when I've taken it
That's
too
a
far
good
and I've read
that
too
makes
many
sense.
dark things in a row, I will read a couple of fluffy
Mhm.
one shots because I need it as a palette cleanser. But I do know that there are a lot of people who like their fix to just be pure fluff, and that is totally fair because the
Wow.
world
Can't
sucks and I
relate.
understand the need to just read something happy. Can't relate.
That's
But I get
true.
it, but I can't relate.
That's true. Or, like, what are they on? What's their medications? I
Yeah.
need to get on that.
Y'all are
I
big
need to
chillin'.
get on
I
that.
love that for you. I need to read about somebody's life being worse than mine so I feel better.
Yes! Correct. You get it. The girls who get
Mhm.
it.
I think of fluff as like rom-com. Like, yeah.
Yes. Or, like, a honeymoon
Yeah.
period. Like, not necessarily a legitimate
And
honeymoon,
I feel like
but,
even
like
in fluff fics, things still kind of go wrong. Like I've read a few things where there's like they
mhm.
have minor issues, but for the most part, it's not angsty. It's not like they work through things quickly, and it's mostly just comforting.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, 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 wait. Tell me about HEA.
So HEA stands for happily ever after, and that's pretty apparent in what it is, right? So everybody
Mhm.
knows what a happily ever after is. This tag, though, you have to watch out for the other tags because
Yes.
just because it is happily ever after doesn't mean it's not going to be angsty. And it doesn't mean you're getting
Correct.
there easy because
Yes.
I've seen things tagged like happily ever after, but you're going to suffer for it. Like you have to really
Yes.
pay attention to the HEA tag because just because it ends well doesn't mean that it's, you know.
Yeah. In general, though, like, so many people, like I feel like a lot with, like, Voldemort wins AUs, lots of people are like, "That is not a happily ever after because they did not settle down in Yorkshire with 5 kids and 5 dogs, you know, and die at
To
108
me to
together." Well,
me,
it's
I
like,
feel like
"Excuse you."
if the characters end up together in some way, that's happily ever
Yeah.
after to me. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that. I know that there are a lot of people who think that everything needs to end perfectly and be wrapped up in a pretty bow at the end, but that's not
Yes.
very realistic. And I feel like to
Yes.
me, happily ever after is just them ending up together somehow.
Eh
All right. What is headcanon or a headcanon or HC? You'll see it written as HC.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that when it is in your own brain
Hmm.
that is true to you?
Yeah.
Like, in my brain, Hermione has a hair care and skincare routine.
Yeah.
It's just because the books were written from Harry's POV, he doesn't, like he does not care, so he does not notice.
Hmm.
And does that make
Yeah.
sense? He's not in the dorms with her, so he doesn't know.
Yeah.
You know what
No,
I
I
mean?
agree.
That's, like, my headcanon. Do you have any personal headcanons?
One, and I think a lot of people actually have this, but, like, this is special to me.
I'm
I
ready.
love the idea of Draco low-key liking being a ferret and, like, occasionally it getting brought up that he didn't hate that, you know what I mean? Like, I've read it in a
Yes.
few fics, but, like, it's become personal to me. Like, I'm like, "No, that's yeah, he didn't hate that."
No, he didn't hate that either. Okay, okay, okay. Tell me about hurt comfort.
So you'll see it written
Hurt
You'll
slash
see it written
comfort.
as hurt/comfort, and basically, it is a tag on a fic that means that the characters will go back and forth between hurting and comforting each other, and usually it means that that is, like, the basis of their relationship, and especially in Hermione, this is, like, a very popular tag because
Yes.
well, I say that. I read mostly angst, so I see this tag a lot, but the idea is that they hurt each other, and then the only thing that can fix that is each other. So they go back and forth and back and forth and back
Exactly.
and forth. This is one of my favorite tags of it.
I feel like hurt comforts though, like have great character development
Mhm.
and character growth. So I love it.
Definitely. All right. What are kudos?
Okay, kudos are it's like a button you press kind of like towards the bottom of each chapter on
Mhm.
AO3, and you scroll to the bottom, and there will be a couple of little buttons that's like comment, next page, chapter index, kudos. Kudos is a button you press, and literally the only thing that happens is a little thing will pop up and say, "Thanks for leaving kudos." And an author gets a little notification saying, "Someone gave your fic kudos." It's like a little happy, like it's a little like celebration, it's like a
Yeah.
like, or
It's just a
like
good
it's just a
way to show
cute.
your appreciation for the author, right? Like, because you can
Yes.
leave comments and tell them, like, I loved this about this and blah, blah, blah. But just pressing that button, one, it moves them up in the rankings on AO3, right? The more kudos that something has, the more likely it is to show up higher in search results on AO3. So you should always be leaving kudos on your favorite fics because that is going to help more people find them. But also it's a really good way to show authors that you are reading their things and you are appreciating the things that they're writing, especially on whips. You should always leave kudos on whips if you want the whips to continue.
Absolutely. It's literally the equivalent of like leaving a like and liking someone's post, which I think is precious. Oh my gosh, Millie, please explain the citrus and the lemon rating scale for our fanfiction newbies.
Right. So this isn't something that's used as much anymore, but you'll see it talked about
That's
with some
true.
older fics or just people who've been in the fandom for a really long time.
The Tom and the Volmione fandom, they love to add some lemons. They're like, warning for lemons. And it's like written in 2023.
The citrus scale is what people used to use to rate the spiciness of smut fics. So if something was really high on the citrus scale, that means that there was a lot of smut in it. And
Period.
if they described it as a lemon, it basically said, like, this is a warning that you should be prepared for there to be smut in this, right? We've kind of moved away from this
Mhm.
and started using this, like, spicy scale.
The spicy peppers.
Yes, but it's the same thing. It's just a different way of describing it.
Fair enough, fair enough.
What is non-con?
Okay, it's a tag that's usually, like, at the tippity top of a fake that stands for, like, non-consensual.
Always like a detailed
So,
description of
yeah,
something. It is,
no,
and that's the thing too. I feel like authors try to be really mindful about tagging everything just in case. And
definitely,
so
definitely.
it could just be implied. They could just not even like say it. It could be a full
Mhm,
conversation about it. Usually if it's a full thing, there will be more additional tags that'll tell you like, hey, this is the thing that you need to be prepared for. And also, a
exactly.
lot of authors will put specific trigger warnings in the chapter notes of things so that you know, like, just skip this one if it's not going to apply to you or whatever. But I also feel like non-con can apply a lot in situations like marriage law fics or things like that where it's just anything that is non-consensual.
Right, right. Ooh, tell me about drabbles and one-shots,
Right.
please.
Okay. So a one shot is anything that can be one chapter, basically. So it doesn't have a word count. There is no cap on this, but
Mhm.
it just you're never gonna press the next button. It's always gonna be one chapter. That doesn't mean much because it could still be like, 10,000 words, 20,000 words. If it's just one chapter, it is considered a one shot.
Yep. The Sinlin Yu Zutara is like 1,100,000,000
Yeah.
words, and it's a one shot, and you're like, This is a story.
Usually they're pretty short, but they don't have to be. As long as it is posted as one single unit, it can be any length to be considered a one-shot. A drabble is different because a drabble is a set amount of words. Usually it's 100 words, and it is just like a little, like a plot bunny, right? So you just say like,
Mhm. I feel like you usually jump into a scene
yeah, usually it's just like a
with
segment
travels,
of
you know?
something, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a short little
Yeah.
thing. Usually they're about 100 words. It is oftentimes they're used for, like, fests or festivals, and so that is, like, that's another
Mhm.
thing I should talk about really quick. So a festival is something that people do on AO3 all the time, where a bunch of authors will write something within a theme. So they'll come up with a theme, like, if it's for a holiday or whatever, then they'll do it based on the holidays or whatever it is, and they can do whatever they want within that theme. And a lot of times those will be
Mhm.
drabbles too. So they'll say like, this is how many words. And sometimes fic fests don't always have a word count, but sometimes they can. So drabbles are always one shots because they're short and they're always one chapter. But one shots are not always drabbles because one shots can be as long as they want to be.
Exactly, exactly. Mhm.
All right. What is an OC?
An OC is a term called for an original character, and that's someone who was not in canon, but the fanfiction author created independently.
Mhm.
Let me shout out some of my favorite OCs. I'm looking at you, Mr. Cowboy, in Love in a Time of Zombie Apocalypse. I'm looking at you, Evangeline, in Hard
Hard
Road to
Road to Hoe.
Hoe, Hard Road to Hoe. I'm looking at who was another OC?
Titus.
Titus in House Pet. I'm looking at you. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, they are, like, very, like, multifaceted, creative characters that happen to be rolling around with canon characters, you know? So it's a good time. Ooh, tell me about OTPs.
Right. OTP is a one true pairing. That's what it stands for. Again, I don't really see this used as much anymore. It was a really, really big
True.
deal back in like 2012, 2013, like early One Direction
True.
days. You saw this a lot.
I saw a lot with, like,
I was
Taylor
gonna say
Swift
Taylor
too.
Swift, a lot with
Probably,
like
like,
YouTubers.
Marvel.
I don't know if you were ever in YouTube fandoms,
YouTube.
but
Yes.
lots of that. And I
Yes,
say that
girl.
specifically because when I think of OTP, I think of the Troye Sivan OTP song.
Yep. Yep, 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 yep,
But it
yep.
just means whatever your favorite ship is. So whoever is your number one ship, that is your OTP. So for me, that is Hermione. I think like Hermione and Draco being together is my one true pairing. But that
Yes.
could be anybody for you.
Yes, I
All
agree.
right.
I know. It depends on the week. Sometimes it's
Sometimes
serious.
it's serious.
Sometimes it's Tom
See,
Riddle.
okay.
Sometimes it's Jenny.
As far as Hermione goes, Draco is always my OTP. But
Yes.
alternatively, Jegulus is my other, like, second OTP. Like, they are meant to be together in every
Mine.
universe, and I love them so much. Anyway, do you want to tell me the multiple
Sorry, yes.
meanings of PWP?
WP. Oh my god, yes, yes. Okay, okay, okay. Pour it out flat. That is usually like the author tagging, like that'll usually be a tag, right? Like pouring it out plot for them to be like, hey, you will not find like a huge crazy
Yeah,
storyline.
these are usually
This will
one-shots.
be sex
Yeah.
scenes. Yes, that kind of thing. Tell me about Suckmed.
Sockmed, hear me out. I say Sockmed in my head or out loud every time. I don't know how we're supposed to be pronouncing this. It just means social media.
That's what I say,
So I say
Suckmed.
Sockmed.
Yeah.
It just means social media. So you'll see this a lot. Like people will tag it in their like author's notes or whatever, say like Sockmed or whatever. It's just referring to their social medias. So that could be Instagram,
We're
TikTok,
all
Twitter, whatever.
about being efficient with our abbreviations
We
here.
only cut out a few letters, but we're doing our best. We're saving. Listen, they just typed you a long ass chapter. If they want to cut out a couple letters of social media, they are allowed to do that.
Amen. Okay, tell me about ships and shipping.
It's your turn. Tell me about ships and shipping.
I would love to. So it's usually like, you know, two or more characters that you want to be together, like romantically. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. Tell me about the squinting.
Okay, so
Like, oh
a
my gosh.
squint is something.
HEA if you squint.
Yeah, so a squint is something that is happily ever after or whatever tag if you squint. So the most common time you'll see this is with happily ever afters. It'll be happily ever after if you squint. And so this means that it is happily ever after, but you're going to have to like really try to understand why it's happily ever after. So it might not be clear. It might have a kind of ambiguous ending, but the
Yes.
author thinks that it is happily ever after. The biggest one of these that you will come across, that I've come across so far at least, is Greenlight. And
Yes.
I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but like you will see people.
The bitches who know,
If you know,
though.
you know. And I want you to know, so go read Greenlight now.
Yes. We love you, Serene
We
Musafir.
love you.
We love you.
You'll see people constantly online debating if it is a happily ever after or not, and people will always say Greenlight is a squint. So good luck. It's so good. I think it's a happily ever. A lot of the things that we just said are tags. So tell me about tags, and then give me a couple examples.
Okay. So tags, like when you're on an AO3 fic, right? And there are all these different little like abbreviations or random words that's like, coffee house setting or, HEA. It's like the author giving you like a little summary. What's it about? Fun fact about me is that I didn't read tags until probably 2024.
Fun fact about me is I still skip the tags. Do as I say, not as I do. Read the tags.
Not as I do.
Read the tags.
Yes. Okay. I got into a new tag recently, Curvy Hermione Granger.
Yes, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
That's been fun.
Okay.
Anyway,
my number one favorite tag that I have ever read is from The Ghost of You by Worthless Writer. And the tags are as follows. Major and minor character death. But who is it? I'll tell you right now, though, that Theo does not die. I could never do that to him. That is my number one favorite tag. I'll tell you right now that Theo does not die. I could never do that to him. Worthless Writer, you are everything to me. That is my favorite tag. Theo is my baby boy. I want to rock him and cradle him and keep him safe forever. And I almost didn't read it because I was like actually reading the tags for once and I was a little nervous. And then I saw that tag and I was like, no, we're good. I don't care who else dies. We're chilling. Theo's fine.
Literally. Okay. Tell me about TBR.
TBR stands for to be read. And this is something that is outside of fandom too. So you'll see this a lot on Book Talk or people just talking about reading in general. It is the list of things that you still need to read. So mine is in my head. I need to write it down. I need to organize this, but it is just everything that you want to read but haven't had time to, or the order that you want to read things. Like sometimes people will organize their TBR into an order of things that they're going to read and how they want to read them, and that it just stands for what you have left to be read. So text fics are they're kind of like short versions of fics that are like one shots almost. And I usually read mine on Instagram, but I know that there are some on...
Okay, yes, same.
Yeah, okay, but I know there are some on TikTok, and I know that there are some on AO3, and sometimes people will post them in multiple places, but they are picture fics, and so it'll be a picture that looks like a text message, right? And it'll play out through text messages. So it'll be like Draco texting Hermione, or Hermione texting the group chat, or whatever, and the story plays out through the text messages. And sometimes authors will include, like, little written sections. So like if they text like, we should meet up tonight, they might write out that section and that wouldn't be a text, but the rest of it is in text messages.
Yes.
What is War AU? This is a good one for you. You love these.
I love wartime AUs. And so it's, an alternate universe where war is going on. Within Hermione, I feel like the most common one is the Second Wizarding War. Sometimes it's not always like, Voldemort won the Battle of Hogwarts. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it isn't. Like, probably one of my favorite, like, war AUs is, like, Love in a Time of the Zombie Apocalypse, Columba and Aquila, Perfectly in Pieces. Like, they might not be, like, fighting the battle.
Yeah, but it's happening
like they do
during
in, like,
wartime.
Secret and Mass. Whips.
Okay, so WIP stands for Work in Progress, and this is any fic that is not done yet. And so a lot of times authors will write like a chapter or two at a time and upload just one chapter. And so a WIP is any fan fiction that is not completely finished yet and is still in the process of being uploaded. And sometimes they have finished it, but they just upload like one chapter a week or one chapter a month or however they have their posting schedule. But there are so many WIPs out there. And here, let me preach about WIPs for a second. WIPs are what keeps fandom alive. So a lot of people don't like to read WIPs because they're not done and they can't speed through it in the way that you would be able to with like a finished fan fiction. But
Mhm.
Without whips, we don't have complete fics. And so we should be supporting authors and we should be showing them that we appreciate their whips and we want to keep reading their things. And I think it's fun too. Like, I think we live in a world now where we're used to like our TV shows coming out all at once on a streaming service or whatever. But we
Right.
grew up in a time where we had to wait for every episode of Hannah Montana to come out weekly. And I sat by that TV
Yes.
waiting to know what happened next. So I think for
Yes.
me, there's something fun about waiting to find out what happens next. I love a cliffhanger. I love the anticipation of being like, oh my God, they posted. But I
Yes.
think it's really fun to be involved in a whip.
Yes. Well, and I think like I like sometimes like the newbies don't know that like whips aren't part of the joys of fan fictions. But let me tell you, I got into whips because I got into certain
Hmm.
authors. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? And so like if you're maybe like a little bit like nerdy about whips, go to your favorite fics, go to your like favorite authors and follow those authors'
Yeah.
whips. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
That's a
I
good
feel
way
like
to
that's an
find
easy
some,
way.
yeah. I think too because,
Mhm.
like, when you are new to the fandom and you're getting your information from Reddit or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is that you are consuming media from, usually you will hear people talk about finished stories because that is what
Yeah,
they are
true.
recommending. Most of the time you're getting rec things like Manacled or Greenlight or something that is done and has established a name for itself. But most of the
Right.
time, people aren't really promoting whips, so it's hard for you to find them if you haven't existed in the fandom space for a while. Hi, if you are physically watching this, you will see that we look completely different suddenly, and that is because of some technical errors on behalf of Maddie's AirPods. We lost the entire last 15 minutes, so now we're back, and we look better than ever. I've never looked better in my entire life. So we're here and we're gonna keep going. So Maddie, please tell me what are you reading right now? What are your current reads?
Okay. So let me start with what I literally just finished.
Okay.
Okay. I just finished my reread of House Pet.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the
You beat
10
me
millionth
through it.
time. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. She was everything I wanted. This is perfect too because Nina being a ballerina just made that post about like an update about the last like 10 chapters or so. Nina being, if you're listening to this, I love you so much. Take your time, girl.
That's your number one fan.
Number one fan right here. And then I just finished the Letter Bomb Whip. It like just finished like 2 weeks ago, I think, and I just finished it. It was beautiful. I I cried so many times. I think that was also if you want curvy Hermione, little curvy mid-sized queen representation, read Letter Bomb. It was beautiful and it was wonderful and such a good Draco redemption arc. Those were so good. Oh my god, I can't wait to reread it. Okay, and then I'm doing two podfics right now. I'm doing the Callum Ignitus podfic. It's like a reread though, and it's so good. It's like evil Lucius while they're at Hogwarts. Oh my gosh, not with a bang. That podfic too, but it's still like being made. So I have to wait for more episodes. Ollie, if you're watching, I love you. You are such a great podpicker. Anyway, my rereads. I just finished. No, I'm almost done with the My Heart Burns for You Zutara. I'm still in my Zutara brain rot. Okay. This was on my TBR for like ever was This Too Is Sacred. It is so much fun. It's another like Hogwarts, like pureblood Hermione, so delicious. But like her parents are still her parents. I feel like in most like pureblood Hermione's, she has or half-blood Hermione, she has like different parents. So I thought this was really interesting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then I'm doing a reread of Meet Your Match by Morgan Mercy.
You read so many things.
Oh yeah.
All at once. I was looking at my list and I was she's not done.
Yeah, because when you're like a mood reader, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't read about teenagers right now because I work with kids for a living. So I'm like, okay, no kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so then I'm like, oh, but then I want to read about them being like 27. And so then I got to hop into that. So, that's what it is.
I was looking at my list and I was like, wow, this is like the most amount of things I've ever been reading at once. And it's like four. It's four things. So here's what I'm currently reading. I am reading House Pet. I know. I'm reading House Pet by Nina Being a Ballerina. Hear me out. I was going it's my first read through. I was like,
the Bibble meme? The Bibble.
That's you. You are Bibble right now. It's my first time reading it. I was like going through super, super quickly, and now I have slowed down and I'm reading a little bit at a time because I want to cherish it. I'm like halfway through.
Absolutely.
And I was like, I need to slow down because it's gonna be fully written soon, and then I'm gonna be sad. So I'm like 50-something% through, so I slowed down. So I'm reading like a little bit of that every couple days.
Canon event.
And then I finally got peer pressured, and you're gonna bibble about this one too. I've been peer pressured into reading Love in a Time of a Zombie Apocalypse. It's so good.
It's Bible.
It's so good.
Oh,
it is really good. However, I've started
Chill,
having
scary.
zombie dreams. I've started having zombie nightmares. So I've had to slow down on that too. So literally last night.
And that is so valid.
I was like, guys, I need a bedtime story because I can't read this one before bed because I am having dreams about zombies. And so then now I've also been pressured into reading Bending Light, which I'm really actually very excited about because
period.
Coco has been trying to get me to read Bending Light. Shout out Coco. For weeks now, and keeps wrecking it because she knows how I feel about Theo, and she loves Bending Light, Falling Dark.
Oh,
Scully Murphy. But Bending Light is happy,
You'll
and
love
it's
it.
funsies, and so far it is
I've
very
only
happy
heard
and very
amazing
funsies.
things.
And apparently Falling Dark is really angsty and sad, so they have roped me into reading Bending Light because they're like, it's fine, you're gonna get a really great Theo, and the sequel is gonna make you cry. And I was like, okay, alright, I can be happy for 100-and-something thousand words so that I get Theo, and then eventually I get to be sad too. And then I'm also rereading The Injury of Finally Knowing You by Vanilla Sage.
Yeah.
Because I can't help myself. This is probably my 6th reread of this. Like, I need to be reading it at all times.
Yeah. I don't understand the people who don't reread fics. I am kind of a chronic rereader.
But this one, I reread
I'm like, I don't understand.
Constantly. I love it.
Yes, it's a drug.
It's so good. Are you reading any trad pubs right now?
Okay, so I love the Canadian author Elsie Silver and her cowboy romances. And I'm reading her series, like the Wild Love series, because it's going to become a movie or show on Amazon Prime. And I'm going to the beach next week, and so I need, like, I like reading like contemporary things, like YA on the beach. So I'm going to be reading that.
Fun.
What about you?
I'm not reading any trad pubs right now. You
can read my cowboy romances and learn about Canada.
Okay, sure. I just finished rereading or listening to Catching Fire. So
the best one, or at least my favorite one.
It's so good. I have been slowly, like very slowly throughout the year, listening to all of them again because I needed something to keep me awake on a drive.
For the
one
movie,
time, and
too.
Yeah, well, that too. So I just finished Catching Fire, so I'll start listening to Mockingjay next while I drive. But the audiobooks are so good. Those are like some of my favorite audiobooks. I could listen to them all the time.
Good to know.
Okay, so look, I've made myself anxious, and I'm like, anyway.
Literally.
Should we get into some fanfiction etiquette? Should we discuss how we should be on our best behavior all the time?
We should.
It's important to remember that if you're reading a fanfiction, it's free 100% of the time. You should never be, well, first of all, buying and selling fanfiction is illegal, so you shouldn't be doing it.
Boo.
But like, it's important to remember that authors do it just for the love of the game and because they want to share their art with you. And so if you don't like something, you can and should just put it down and not say anything, because there's no point in you insulting them. There's no point in you saying you didn't like this or you didn't like that or whatever. There's just no reason to do any of that. And I think, like, remembering that they do it because they love the same things that you love, right? So you are reading fanfiction because you love to read about these characters, and they also love these characters.
And I'm like, why would you want to give someone who is so talented and obviously has benefited so many other people, why would you want to bring them down? Does that make sense? Like, you know?
Yeah, and I think too, like, a lot of and maybe it's, you know, it's some people who are new to the fandom, it's people who are new to fanfiction, people who
you don't know if you don't know.
Or even just, like, whatever, but that don't really understand, like, that fan fiction is not the same thing as trad pubs. Like, trad pubs are made
Yeah.
to be reviewed, they are meant to be
Mm-hmm.
purchased and engaged with in those types of way. And fan fiction is
Mm-hmm.
not made for that. Fan fiction is not for you to critique. And so there should never be any kind of, you should never be rating fan fictions or ranking them against each other. The only time you should ever,
The word rate, rake, review, get that out of your vocab.
The only time you should ever, like, compare fanfics is if you're like, you know, the world building in this is similar to this. If you liked this one, you might like this one. But you should never be like, I liked this better than that because blah, 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 blah. There should never be any kind of negative comparison happening between fics. It should only ever be like, hey, Maddie, you really liked House Pets, so I think you would really like blah, blah, blah. Because they're similar in this way. And that's kind of the only time that it's okay to really, like, put them in the same sentence ever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Another thing too, I think people mean well by doing this, but they don't understand how it can come across, is making, like, demands of authors' times. I see a lot of people commenting things like, when are you gonna update next? Or can you update soon? Like, we're waiting, blah, 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 blah. But again, they are not being paid to do this. They're doing it on their own time. They have their own creative process. Things take time. These people all have lives outside of writing these fan fictions. And you might comment it good-hearted, you know, thinking, like, this is a compliment. We want to read more of what you have to say. But to an author, it just comes across as pushy and a little disrespectful because, they, like I said, they have their own lives and they are writing at the pace that they can write at.
Right.
And so it's just not something that you should ever say to an author, you know?
Mm-mm. And, like, on the flip side, like, when I was first new to, like, AO3, you know, because I was, like, a Wattpad and, like, Tumblr girly, you know, I didn't understand, like, the different buttons, like, kudos, for example, you know? Like, kudos are, like, when you click that button, and I'm pretty sure you can give kudos without even having an AO3 account. I think so. I'm pretty sure. So, like, you click that button, and it's, like, giving, like a little, like, yay, or a little, like, thumbs up to the author, and that is absolutely free. Like I said, I'm pretty sure you don't even need an account for it, and the author gets, like, a notification saying someone left you kudos, someone left you a like. Like, I think if maybe, like, you're a little shy or you're a little nervous to comment or something, you can absolutely leave a kudos, and that's almost the same thing as
definitely,
like, being encouraging and positive.
I think another thing that we should be more mindful too is, like, paying attention to authors' policies. And there's a lot that falls under this. Okay, it's not just authors but artists too. So if you use, you know, say you're making a TikTok video because you want to talk about Hermione, and you use artwork that you found online. If you found it on Pinterest or Instagram or whatever it is, you should be trying to figure out who made that. Usually there's a watermark, but you should always be crediting those artists. You should always be crediting authors because they put a lot of time and effort into that. You know what I mean? So if you are making your own video or making your own thing, or even just telling your friends about it, you should be telling your friends and the people that you know and your followers where that artwork comes from, because the more that an artist or an author feels appreciated, the more likely they are to continue making things, and we want to be able to continue enjoying the things that they make for us, right? So as far as, like, our podcast goes, we are always going to try our very best to include the author's name, because we talk a lot about a bunch of different fics. Sometimes it slips through the cracks. I'm sure today at some point we've said the name of a fic and not included the author. But I will always go through the show notes and put, like, all of the fics that we listed and all the ones we talked about with the author and where those can be found, because that's the whole point of this, right? If we're recommending things on here, I want you to be able to find them, and I want you to go read and show the author's love and support, and that you're excited to read what they wrote, you know? And so if we ever don't say it, we will try our very best to include us. And yeah, again, like, we're here to spread the joy, right? So whatever, our DMs are always open. We want to be able to share these things with you.
And my favorite thing about when we, like, because, like, I love the handles that different authors will have. Like, I feel like Injuries author, Vanilla Sage. So here, my favorite thing is when I'm talking about these authors, like, they're my Millie. Like, they're my bestie. Like, I'll be like, oh my gosh, you know what? Before the real book did, like,
My
Do you ever catch yourself doing that?
thing that you do is when you're like, yeah, need a beat a ballerina, post it, and you say her name so fast.
So fast.
And all the time, you're like,
she's like a drug.
You're like, need about a bit, and I'm like, yeah, Maddie, period, queen. Tell me about it.
Or I'll be like, before the real book.
I'm like, that's their real government name to me, you know? Like,
literally. So I'm like, imagine if I like ever get to talk with these people, and they're like, actually, my real name is Jessica.
No, like, your real name is Nina Ballerina. Actually,
your real name is Vanilla Sage.
Vanilla Sage. That's your government. That's on your ID, actually. So.
Anyway, that's like my favorite little thing about fandom.
So funny. My next thing is, and we've kind of briefly touched on this, but I'm gonna say it again. I know that we are bad influences, but you should always be reading the tags of the fics that you read. Always.
Tags are not necessarily spoilers. Get that out of your noggin. That's what I thought. So I'm speaking from my past.
You should be reading.
It's like reading the summary.
It's reading the summary
of a book.
It's understanding what you're gonna get. You don't.
Yes.
If an author has tagged it and told you what you're getting, you have no rights to be complaining in the first place. But you really have no rights to complain about not liking something if you chose to not read the tags. You know, so they're there to help you. One, to make sure that you understand what you're getting into and that it's something that you want to read and that it's, you know. We all are so limited. There's so many things out there. There's so many fics to read. So you want to be reading the things that's how you want to spend your time.
Enjoy.
You know? And so it's helpful, but it's also there to protect you, right? Like, there are so many fics out there that have sensitive... Yeah, there's so many fics that have sensitive content, and if you are skipping the tags, then you're not gonna know it, and then it's gonna pop up and jump scare you, and we don't want to be jump scared. We want to have a nice, fun time, unless you're me, in which case I do enjoy a little jump scare, but I don't read the tags, okay?
Read the tags and read the relationships.
Millie gets
that's kind of funny.
I skip the relationships as long as I know
you do.
I most of the time. Okay, I will look and see what the very first one is because I want to know if it's Hermione or if it's whatever. But then I don't want to know about any of the side pairings. I love it to be a surprise. It's so fun.
I used to be that way.
Anytime it's like the first tag is Hermione Draco and then like the third tag is Draco somebody else and I'm like,
excuse me.
Hold on.
Excuse me.
Rewind, please. My last thing is something that it might cause a little controversy.
It's a problem.
It might cause a little controversy here, and it might make some people stop listening, but it's important to me, and I know it's important to you.
Same.
AI usage is not acceptable at all.
Millie, say it one more time.
AI usage is not acceptable. We do not condone the use of AI in any kind of way. You should not be using it for artwork. You should not be using it to write things. You should not be putting other people's artwork through AI to make it your own artwork.
Guys, no.
If a computer is generating it, you didn't make it, period. There are people out there who hand draw, hand paint all of these amazing pieces of art, and AI is training off of that. AI is training off of the fanfics that you love.
Yes.
To be used to write mediocre repeats of them.
And it's ugly, guys.
It's not good.
I'm gonna be
It's
real.
not good. And it's disrespectful, right? The entire point of fanfiction etiquette, right, is that we are being respectful of artists, their time, the efforts that they put in, and their talents, right? At the end of the day, they're all very, very talented people. If you can write a fanfic at all, period, I'm impressed, right?
Yep.
It's not easy, okay? I am in the middle of writing what is now up to 10,000 word one shot, and I have been working on it for weeks. I know, we're getting there. It's almost done. It's not.
Well, I'm still in my freaking Drabble phase.
It's not easy. It is so hard.
No.
It's difficult. And so if you can write, like, genuinely even 2 sentences, I'm impressed, right? Because it takes a lot of creativity. It takes a lot of talent. It takes a lot of love in what you're doing, right? You need to be able to enjoy it enough to write about it. And it's a lot of work. So the fact that you read something, right, and you were like, wow, this is incredible, I want to write something, and then you put an idea in there and then it like just makes something for you, but it's trained off of the fan fiction that you love, right? So you are plagiarizing whether you
It's
know it or
plagiarism.
not.
It's disrespectful.
It's just not,
Yes.
there's no need for it, right? If you sit down, you can come
None.
up with something. It's, you
Yes.
can do it. I believe you. The other thing too is it's lazy, right? It really is lazy.
It's so lazy.
You could do that yourself. We're gonna start doing this little segment every time where we, obviously our namesake is Hermione Granger and Hermione Would Approve, right? So we're gonna do a little segment called Would Hermione Approve? And so we're gonna do just a couple of these every time we do an episode. And this could be anything, right? This could be pop culture, this could be a fic we're reading, this could be genuinely anything.
Okay, I'm still hung up on the Met Gala. I think Rachel Zegler had the best look with the Lady Jane Grey outfit and everything, so beautiful. But I'm also obsessed that her Evita is going to Broadway because in my head that means we will be getting a Rachel Zegler Tony nomination. And what y'all don't know is that me and Millie are big theater girlies, okay? And big theater kids. Big
Hey,
theater
remember when I
girlies,
was on
okay?
Broadway
So this
last week?
is amazing. Hey, Millie, what was it like to be on Broadway?
Hey, it was really cool. I can't stop thinking about it. Dana Radcliffe held my... Hey, did you know that Dana Radcliffe held my hand?
Did you know that he's actually your co-star?
Did you know... I'm gonna put it on my resume. Dana Radcliffe held my hand. We acted together on Broadway. Tony nominated. Dana Radcliffe acted on stage with me. The end.
Literally, oh my gosh. But literally, I've been following Rachel Zegler since like we were both in high school. I'm obsessed with her, and I just feel like she deserves all her flowers, and I'm excited that she's going to Broadway. And Hermione Would Approve because I love in fics like Measure of a Man and Remain Nameless when Hermione's like an artsy girly, you know, and loves like ballet and the theater.
Oh yeah. She's an arts and culture girly for sure. She would think that that is very much something that needs to be protected. And you know what? While we're on the topic, Hermione Granger would not approve of Timothée Chalamet's bullshit.
Which part? Which part of his bullshit?
All of it, but specifically the ballet opera thing, saying he would never want to be a part of an art like that. That was so
fucked up. Tom Holland would never.
Tom Holland would never. Yeah, Hermione
Billy
Granger
Elliot starred.
You know, as 2019 Little Woman stan, I have never been more disappointed. Yep. That's not my Timmy. Same. That's not my Timmy. Okay, I don't claim that. Timmy. I do not claim that energy. All right. Would Hermione approve of the new Noah Kahn album?
Mm-hmm.
I think yes. Specifically because that whole album, right, and all of his music constantly all the time is about feeling guilty about leaving, right? And I think that there is a piece of Hermione. And I don't read a lot of fics actually that ever discuss this, and maybe I need to write it. Maybe this comes from me. Of Hermione feeling like homesick's not the right word, but like very eldest daughter vibes, very...
I know what you're trying to say.
Very, she did what was best for her, and she left because she knew that she was, destined for great things, right? But I feel like there's a part of her that feels like, guilty for leaving. She's her parents' only daughter. She's the only child. She left them because she is, amazing and spectacular and had all of these things ahead of her. But I do think that there's a small part of her that will always think, what would have happened if I had stayed at home and what would have happened if I had, not left. And I feel like this entire album, The Great Divide, would, hit really close to home for Hermione. Especially after she humiliates her parents. Can you imagine?
Oh my god, literally.
Okay. Would Hermione approve of Whitney Levitt announcing that she's leaving Secret Lives during the show?
Yes. First of all, that was iconic. And second of all, I'm just so happy for her. I really am.
I'm really happy for her. And I think Hermione would approve for a couple reasons, right? Number one, because iconic. Number two, because like I just said, I think that Hermione's a big arts and culture girly, so I think she would love the idea of Whitney being in Broadway in general. But also, I think that Whitney leaving is, she acknowledges that she got so big from the show, right? She acknowledges that without the show, she would not be where she is. She also acknowledges the fact that she's a talented bitch, and she has things to do and places to be. And
people grow. They move on.
Yeah, so I'm saying she has grown. She has no place on that show anymore. She, her life is thriving. Her and her husband are both doing very well for themselves. And
she left Utah.
She's getting to achieve...
She's born and raised Utah.
She's getting to achieve dreams that she thought she never would. And so good for her, you know? Like, doing another season on the show would have completely stunted her growth, and I don't think that
Mm-hmm.
after Dancing with the Stars, after being on Broadway, there was no way that she was ever gonna go back. And you know what? Good for
Right.
her. I love that for her.
Harry just had night one in Amsterdam, and the whole like stage looks like an F1 racetrack. And I think that's really funny.
I think Hermione would approve of the Together Together tour.
Yeah. Why
I
is
think
Harry
she'd be
in
like,
business
first of
cash?
all, why is he in business cash? Why did he make his okay, I love it. Why is it a racetrack?
But
Why is
why?
it one singular man sprinting around the stage? Every video
In
I have
business
seen
cash.
is just him running. He's running down
Yes.
running down the runway in a tie. Like just
In a full suit and tie.
and you know what? I'm
And I'm
still
like,
going to turn up
this
at
album is
Wembley
like
in July.
disco dance party.
June.
What are you wearing?
Disco occasionally, business casual all the time, apparently.
Oh.
So I think from here, I guess we can give like a rundown of what the plan is. So there are going to be some episodes that are centered around like one specific fic or one specific trope or something like that, right? Every episode, this episode was a little different because it's an intro episode, right? So we wanted you to get to know us, we wanted you to get to know fanfiction,
Right.
we wanted to kind of give you a rundown of like how things are going to go down, right? But
Yes.
from here on out, we're going to have a more structured theme to each episode. Anyway, if you had a good time while you were here and you'd like to stick around for more, please make sure to follow us on our social media. We have
Please.
Instagram, we have TikTok. I think that's it for now, but we are at Hermione Would Approve on everything. We're going to be posting pretty regularly. Behind the scenes, we'll be posting videos of us, pictures. We got the Canva graphics locked and loaded. You guys you're not even ready for the master Canva skills we've got going on around here, right? Okay. So make sure to follow us and interact with us too. That's the other thing. Like I said, I want this to feel like this is for
Send me
you.
your
You know
TikToks,
what I mean? Like,
guys. Send me your reels.
We want it to feel like you're just sitting down and having a yap session with us, right? So if you have questions, if you have recommendations for fics that we should read, if you have ideas for the podcast, things you want to hear us talk about, please DM us. We are always excited and open to hearing whatever you have to say. Our DMs are open. Reach out. Say hi. Make yourself known. We want to know that you're
Enjoy
here.
our
We
reposts,
want to appreciate us.
all the good things.
Maddie's been hard at work on our reposts and building up our algorithm, and she's really proud of it. So make sure you go look at our repost. But yeah, no, I think I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited to have you here. If you listen to this all the way through, thank you so much for giving us, an hour and a half of your time. It means more to me than you could ever understand. This was really genuinely just like a crazy idea. We were sending voice notes in the Discord server one day. So like it just kind of spawned out of nowhere. It was just a little thought bubble, and then now we're here and we've recorded a full episode, and we have plans for the future, and it's been so much fun. And I think it's we already have so many people listening and supporting us, and it's only going to grow from here, and I'm so excited to see like what becomes of this, and
literally y'all are the best.
I guess the goal in the future, is that to build this community, to make you guys all think that we're besties, because I need to be everybody's internet bestie all the time. But also, like, I would love to have authors on the show. I would love to have artists on the show. And so, the more that we grow this community, and the more that, if you have a fic you want to talk to us about, you want to
or if
join
you
us,
know
you
Nina being a ballerina, please let us.
Listen, okay, Maddie's birthday is in September. If you know Nina being a ballerina, it would actually genuinely make her entire life to get Nina being a ballerina on the September episode.
If you have connections, someone out here has connections.
But no, seriously, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for listening. It means a lot to both of us, and I think that it's going to be a really fun place to be. So stick around. I'm super excited for June. Is going to be so fun. Anyway, I ended it really cute last time, and I can't remember what I said.
That was so freaking cute. I think you killed it.
What should we say?
So
how should we say goodbye?
You. Goodbye, babes.
Goodbye.
I love
you guys. Thank you for being here. Anyway, tune in June. We're gonna have so much fun, and you don't want to miss out, because you're gonna get FOMO. Be here or be, I don't know.
Square.
Okay,
bye. Talk to y'all later.